Hi, I'm X, and today I'm going to be putting a new cord on this extension cable. So first of all, I do need to find some cable, and if you like X, you'll have a nice big ton bag full of all little bits and pieces of cable. We'll go through it, we'll find a suitable piece, and then we'll get on with the job. So what I tend to do, I keep all odds and ends of cable, as you can see, bung them in an old ton bag, go through them once or twice a year. You know, the pieces which, you know, I don't really want to strip them out, get rid of the copper. But I'm looking for a bit of cable. You know, there's plenty of cable in here. So what I'll do, I'll have a rummage round and see if I can find a fairly long piece. And, you know, that's in rough condition. This look more like it. Yeah, I think I'll pull this whole bit of pump out and take the cable off of that. Here is a standard little cable reel. This one says 10 metres. 10 metres approximately, which is 33 feet. It tells you the amperage, the voltage, the size of the cable which was on here, which was 0.75 of a millimetre squared. And it's even got a British standard mark. And this one is made by Scan Wall or something like that. Tells you you're at, you know, gives you all your information you need. I picked this up yesterday in a skip. It was thrown out. Some people are doing some DIY work, and they've put this out, laid on top of the skip. What normally happens if someone thinks something's reasonably good, they normally put it near the top, so you can just, as you're passing, just pick it up. So brought it back, but it doesn't look great, and it's quite short and no good to me. It's winter over here now. Need to charge your batteries up on your truck, so you need a nice long extension lead, because otherwise they won't be starting in the morning. So, you know, just looking at it, you can see she's had a hard life. You know, this plug is missing a piece out of there. You know, the prongs are bent. It's got insulation tape on there, never a good sign. So if you ever pick any equipment up like this out of a skip or laid beside the road, or even out of a charity shop, thrift shop or anything like that, always best to have a quick test of it, get your meter out and just check everything's fine. So we'll have a little quick look inside the plug, because this plug is obviously no good whatsoever. And straight away, look at that. Just look at that. I don't know, can you see that? Can you see it? Jesus, we've got no earth. Well, no, we have got an earth. The earth is touching the neutral. Unbelievable. The earth wire don't even reach the terminal. Look at the insulation cut on that. Look at how much bare wire is showing. Even on here, look at the condition of this. The screw is reasonably tight, actually. The screw is tight, so no one is, well, the wire's sticking in it. That hasn't broke off. Look at that. See, that's what you'd be dealing with. You go and plug this in, chances you're going to give yourself electric shock. Fucking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. As I say, you could tell there was something, how chipped it is. It's been abused. It's not a heavy duty plug. It's not a rubber plug or nothing like that, so it can't take the knocks. This toughened plastic is just chipped. That's the end of it. You know, I know the dog want to play. Good girl. Lay down, lay down. So anyway, that's shot. We're going to dump that. Now, look anything you ever own. The chances are you and I didn't work in the factory where this is assembled. Oh, we've got a make on here. Made in. Look at that. Made in Denmark. Made in Denmark. How awesome is that? Don't get many Danish things over here in the UK, apart from your breakfast rolls, things like that maybe. Oh, made in. So we're talking about something of reasonable quality here. I think the Danes are good at what they do. You know. Yeah. So looking at this, as I say, we didn't work in the factory where it's assembled, so we got to give it a little bit of, you know, an investigation how to get it apart. And they don't look many components. That look like the handle's a separate component. Looking at the plastic difference, the back is all one piece. So when I now look at this, that looked to me as though these two things here, these different coloured studs, of where you get inside it. So what you really need is a set of them, a set of these picks, a set of probe set, but I haven't got none of those. You know, I don't own any of them yet, so I can't use them. I haven't got none of them, can't use them. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, can I pick this? I don't really want to make it too ugly. Can I pick these out, or do I have to drill them out? You know, so what I think I'm going to do is just get my little electric drill, put the old drill bit in it, get my battery drills, drill them out and see what we got. So that's my next stage. I'll bring you back when I've done that. Well, that weren't very successful. That's all I can say about that. It's off, but all these little plastic retainers have all snapped off, and now it's just far too loose. So you seem to have these clips here, but every one of them is actually broken away. But I think, to be honest, we can actually do something with this. Them little pieces I drilled out were just cover holes, you know, from obviously another application. You've got you know, some screw points here, you know, that, so we might be able to just pop the countersink in there and get a screw on it to put it back together again, as you do. So yeah, if you got this reel here, what's going to happen is all these little clips, which were obviously glued on there to keep that nice and tight. As I say, these aren't doing anything. I just sit over them pieces there. So yeah, screwed it, but you know I can get round that, not a problem. So the next thing is to get this cable out. You know, the great thing about watching someone else take stuff into pieces is you can see where you want to avoid the mistakes that they make. So anyway, I have this out now. Sorry about that. That's quite a simple clamp. That's like 2 cable ties put vertically, and this is the equivalent of a cable tie, you know, a zip tie, which you can undo. So that was very easy to get off. The barrel here has got these little recessed points. Screwdriver behind that, pried all this out. But the issue here is these are a terminal which is crimped, so the wire is crimped onto every one of these bus bars. So I need to cut through these and, you know, wire join, splice them onto the new cable I'm going to fit. Right. So I'm going to cut the cable off this is an old Hippo pump. You know, picked it up somewhere, as you do. So I trimmed that off, that little electric pump. When I look at this cable, I mean, it's very good quality. This was on a water pump, so obviously the insulation on the cable is lovely and rubbery. And this cable is marked. It's a 1mm cable. You know, 3 wires, live, neutral and earth. But what, you know, when I take things to bits like this, like I keep this, you know, you've got a strain relief there, really good quality, lovely and rubber and perished. You know, stick that in your toolbox. You know, when you come to do electric drill or something like that, you've got a fantastic strain relief. Same as this capacitor, you know, good quality capacitor. There's nothing wrong with that. Perfect. Just stick that in the drawer, and again, you never know when it will come in. So what I'll do, I'll get this laced in there, and then we'll splice them wires together and start reassembling. So I've got to do a linesman splice on here. I need to get this. Should have put the insulation over first. Hey ho. So that way. Over that way. This one go over this way. So we'll have to do some soldering now, or soldering, depends on what part of the world you're in. But I didn't video the soldering because, or soldering, because the soldering iron I got is a pile of shit, and that was taking so long to heat the wire up. You know, you just don't need to watch that. And then obviously, because it was taking so long, I put so much heat in over a long period of time, you end up damaging your heat shrink. So a couple of them, that one's fine, because these ones are short wires, or that one's, you know, not went far enough back. The heat has travelled down there and crimped the end up. I shall just trim that up. So I'll get all them covered over, get them warmed up, shrunk over, and we'll fit them in, and then I'll show you what that looked like. Right, so there we have it. We've got all the bus bars back in their correct positions. We've got all the new wires. It's a 1mm to 0.75, so you'll always be rated by that piece there. I mean, I'm only going to use this for charging up the truck batteries, because I'm looking out the window now and it's starting to snow. Yeah, so yeah, you can see you've got to get all your wires in the right place. Got to make sure they're not nipping anything or you know, touching the other wires. Just have a good look at it. You can see where they all go. Probably pull that out a little bit more. Tuck that in there where it belongs, out the way. These little insulated channels. Yeah, and just make sure they're all in the right place. Now, of course, I can get this pushed back into here. Now there's a little keyway there, like, so you can't get it wrong. You know, I've put my cable clamp on and pushed that down tight, and you'll see how this sort of snap into place. Yeah, in at 3 places, just under there, and that's it, done. Now all we've got to do is figure out how we want to attach this top. You know, I think 2 screws into there, maybe a bit of glue or a bit of silicone, probably silicone all the way around the edge there. That'll hold it enough. You know, these are not an IP67 rated item, so as I say, just got to get that. Well, some better ones there, I suppose. What come out of that pump? They might be better. Countersink the top a bit. You know, we'll have to just see. So I've gone for a difficult style of plug here, old-fashioned British plug. And the key to this one is to get your cables laid out and marked where you want to remove the insulation from and to. You see, it's a really old-fashioned plug. This you don't really see them like this now, and you've got to get it right. You know, these aren't like some other plugs. You could just get yourself a little boot-laced ferrule or anything. But with these particular ones, you know, it's a chore. Yeah, trying not to damage the strands. We have got a little bit to play with because it's a smaller. The cable is as large a cable than it was before. And so these all got to go in a loop. Then we have a captive nut and a washer. Whereas on a lot of British plugs you'd just be having a little screw terminal to pop them in. And obviously, you know, depending on how the thing is done, you can work it so that the cables all lay in a nice neat way. If they're in the sheath the correct way, you can just lay them so they ain't got to cross over each other. If I'm showing it even in camera. Right, let's have a look here. So what we got is a little brass. You see, you'd never get nothing like this these days. Little brass washer and a screw terminal. You can see what I've done there. Brought that round. I've got the rubber of the sheath there, which will go in the cable clamp. Bring this one round now. You know, it's such a valuable thing to learn when I was a kid, how to put a plug on. You know, it stood me in good stead all my life. I ain't been one of these people who don't know how to do it. I rely on other people to just take over when the knowledge isn't there. Right, so there we have it, much neater. As I say, don't know what was going on with them. I mean, you could tidy these little pieces up, but they're not going to go nowhere. Just push them in, not just all tidy them up. But that one, like I say, the earth wire weren't even in, and that was touching the neutral. Crazy stuff. Right. Actually, I don't even know if that feel it. I'm going to check. I've got 2 screws just now. So this is all done in the cord grip. It's right the way through. Look nice and neat. Bang that on there. Even a brass screw in there. Look. Right. There we go, job done. Fixed. Yeah, what can you say? All up and working. And we've got a nice thick heavy duty cable on it now. Them 2 screws, I shall countersink them, but as you can see it's making no issue for the operation of that. And as I say, this isn't rated for leaving out in the rain or anything anyway. So, well, I'm pleased with that. It's done. Got some new cable on it. As I say, you compare the old cable to the new, world of difference. This is actually really stiff and this is lovely and pliable. Good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again.